Our guest, Andy Sydow.
Well, by the time you hear this, spring training will have started, and opening day will be soon upon us. So I wrote this little baseball opening day ditty that I'm going to play for you, with a bit of a nod to the Cincinnati Reds, relevant in Chattanooga because the AA Reds team is here in Chattanooga. And this song is going to come out on opening day, March 27th. It's opening day in America. Grown-ups wear their jerseys all day long. Folks like me sit around hoping our favorite players don't get caught doping, and that these heroes can make my problems go away. And it's baseball season again. Heading to the park on a Saturday, having a catch was scraping up my knee. Man, I wouldn't know about Cracker Jacks, and I'd have so much of my money back if I didn't have the childhood I had. And it's baseball season again. Some people say the game's too slow. Well, they don't know what they don't know. Yeah, the lights shine down and the green grass grows, and the best team plays in Ohio since the year of 1869. And it's baseball season again. And it's baseball season again. Another baseball song for you. This is a historical fiction about a ball player from the 1920s and 30s who never made it all the way to the bigs. And this is his last game in the minors. Is called My Last Game. Baseball games and artifacts, misty eyes and rally caps. Losing wouldn't be this hard if I still had you. Me, I never made the show, never threw at Murderer's Row, but I can still hold you with my good arm. I always thought I'd have it all, the wife, the kids, the curtain call, a place that feels like home. Now I'm too old to start a family, with my whole life still in front of me. But this is my last game. The way the story goes, we've heard them all before. But this time it's me and I've got nowhere to go. I'll never throw like I did at 24. But baseball is all and all I know. it was Detroit in 1934. The Tigers were bound to win it all. I was pitching down in Charleroi till Mickey gave me the big league call. So then I packed my bags and I hopped a train. I was headed west to Penn and Fame. I sat on the bench for to hear my name, but Mickey never put me in. So I worked all winter and I threw a lot. The next year I felt I'd get my shot. I got a few calls from smaller clubs, but I never saw the bigs again. The way the story goes, we've heard them all before. But this time it's me and I've got nowhere to go. I'll never throw like I did at 24. But baseball is on and all I really know. Baseball is all I know. The story goes, we've heard them all before. But this time it's me and I've got nowhere to go. I'll never throw like I did at 24. But baseball is on and all I know. I think back to that night in 34, the lights so close and so far. Too young to know any better. Then I think about my time with you, how your love was always number 2. But this is my last game. The song's called Cause for Concern. Are you running in the back streets? Are you running from the siren's crow? Are you running from the big scene? Are you scared of what you don't know? Are you shooting at the wrong stars? Still chasing a childhood dream? Are you hiding on the night shift, just like they said you would? Are you waiting on some big lift, just a little misunderstood? Did you write your reasons down? If not, you probably should. And is there cause for some concern? And is there cause for some concern? Having trouble with your breathing? Another breakdown in your car? Did you miss out on a sweet thing? Are you the turtle in the race so far? Is everything I say a lie? Does everything I say sound mean? cause for some concern? And is there cause for some concern? Well, back in October, I put out a new album called Night Skin that's been getting some play here on WUTC. Thank you. It was produced by Anders Osborne in Maurice, Louisiana at Dockside Studio. And I've been touring on it a bunch, playing it a bunch, doing the thing. And this is I think, been, you know, if Spotify streams count for anything, this has been the most successful song. It's called Every Little Thing About Love. I took a course. I took a few courses at Berklee Online a few years ago to learn about arranging for film and orchestras and stuff like that. And the teacher taught us about the Fibonacci sequence 1 week, which is a sequence of numbers plus it's the current number plus the previous number equals the next number. For instance, 2 plus 1 is 3, 3 plus 2 is 5, 5 plus 3 is 8, so on and so forth. And I wanted to use the Fibonacci sequence, since we were learning about it in class for like horror films or something. I wanted to use the Fibonacci sequence as the rhythm of a song, so I wrote this: 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and so on and so forth. So I wrote this song, Every Little Thing About Love, and I played it live a couple times, and someone told me that I left the number 2 out of the Fibonacci sequence. So this song has nothing to do with the Fibonacci sequence. Will you show me every little thing about love? And take me somewhere I don't know a thing about love. I've been all the things the go-betweens with empty means before. I've been flying high till a girl decides she needs a little more. You don't seem that way, my dear, my dear. You don't seem that way, my dear. Let's take a risk, take a holiday from our fears, my dear. Show me every little thing about love, and take me somewhere I don't know a thing about love. If I was insincere, another beer would take me through the night. But here with you, I look forward to the crow that brings the light. You got everything I need. I need, you got everything I need. Pull my heart from my sleeve, make me believe you've got everything I need. Will you show me every little thing about love? And take me somewhere I don't know a thing about love. show me every little thing about love. And take me somewhere I don't know a thing about love. Will you show me every little thing about love? And take me somewhere I don't know a thing about love. I've been touring around a decent amount, and I've got 3 shows that I do. One is a solo performance, much like this one, where I chat a little bit and play a little bit, just as Andy Sydow. I also tour with my band, Andy Sydow and the Minor League. That's a full band, and there's jamming and rocking and stuff, and that's a lot of fun. And then another thing I've been doing is I arranged a handful of my songs for a string quartet and a French horn, and I've been doing these orchestra shows, and it's where I hand music to local players in each town, and we just do the show. They're reading sheet music, classical players, and sometimes even students. I'm about to do it with high school orchestra students here coming up in another month or so. So anyway, I say all that because this song was originally written in an orchestral way, and it's on the record Measure 1, which is me and a string quartet and a French horn. It's called A Better Day. In a world where suffering is gone and our virtues are shining through, in a time where everyone belongs, in a better day, in a world where nothing is refused, and a vision is more than just a dream. No calling is placed out of view. In a better day, a better day, a better way to rule the world. A better day, nothing ever can't come through. A better day is falling down from the victor sky now. In a world where honesty just wins, there's no hiding from anybody's pain. Solace never trapped inside a room. In a better day, a better day, a better way to rule the world. A better day, nothing ever can't come through. A better day, a better way to rule the world. And a better day, nothing ever can't come through. Better days falling down from the victor sky now. A better day. So listen, sing along, where we could all belong. So listen, sing along for everyone. So listen, sing along, where we could all belong. So listen, sing along for everyone. So listen, sing along, where we could all belong, solace and sing-alongs for everyone. On better day, a better way to rule the world. On better day, nothing ever can't come through. On better day, a better way to rule the world. On better day, nothing ever can't come through. Better days falling down from the victor's sky now.
From the studio in the Chattanooga Public Library, the session this evening recorded live by Sam Manser, who is also responsible for the mix, our guest, Andy Sydow. We began the conversation talking about Andy's most recent album, Night Skin.
We did it over 3 days at Dockside Studio with Anders Osborne, and who was my biggest musical influence growing up. So it was a cool experience, and he was pretty big on just letting the song do what it wanted to do, not in a lazy way at all. I mean, we put a lot of time into the arrangements, but if a song wanted to be more acoustic, he would lean into that. If a song wanted to be more rock and roll, he would identify that and lean into that as well.
There was one song, seems like it was the second song. It was with the band, and it ends with a chord that sounds like it's about to go into another song, and it just stops. And when you were playing today, I heard you do that a bunch of times. It's like we're in the midst of the conversation, and then I'm done.
Yeah, well, geez.
Which is a wonderful way of writing.
It's quite an accusation.
Well, it struck me. I never really thought about it, but it struck me that too often the problem people have is, how do I end this?
Yeah.
I've got this riff going, what do I do? Do I stop? Do I fade it? What you were doing was more imaginative, because the effect of that is that you lean in. So then the next song starts and you're paying more attention than you might have been otherwise, because you've been led into it from the song before, but not in an obvious way.
Well, I think we have a tendency, we want things to be finite, right? We finish emotion A and we go to emotion B, but life isn't like that. You experience all these things at once, and there's certain formulas, like ending a song on the one chord, which is really cool. I do it most of the time, but it's not always the correct end of the song, and especially in an album setting, you might want to leave something hanging to go into the new emotion, go into the new song, and I also think it's okay to hang out on an emotion for a while. A song doesn't have to be big and then small and loud and soft. If you've got an angry song, you can have the emotion of driving down the highway at 80 miles an hour with the windows down for 4 minutes. You can do that for 4 whole minutes or whatever. And it's just however you want to approach it, I think.
Yeah, helter-skelter. So, right?
Yes.
So it struck me that you're a good writer. You're obviously an accomplished musician, but you also think like an arranger. You throw these little notes in the middle of a guitar accompaniment, as an example. They're almost like the way water does, where it's going in one direction and then sort of turns back on itself.
Yeah.
That's how it feels. You're floating along on this riff, but it goes back in the other direction for a few notes, then picks up again.
Yeah.
And when somebody said it was a comment about your boogie woogie piano playing that, and I'm not sure now what the reference was, but it was that it took them by surprise how well you play boogie woogie piano, and I'm thinking, not too many people probably playing boogie woogie on a concert ground. Not that you were playing exactly boogie woogie, more like sort of a Bruce Hornsby-ish
Yeah.
boogie woogie.
Yeah. Well, I've had so many influences over the years, and in college I got really into, I guess, high school and college, into New Orleans piano players. And I didn't delve fully into that world, obviously. But I dabbled with it, listening to guys like Dr. John and Henry Butler and things like that, and James Booker, and that kind of inspired songwriting and piano playing for me to an extent. And I also played in a traditional jazz ensemble in college where we were kind of doing some stride piano and things like that, Scott Joplin-esque. And again, I'm no ragtime piano player, but I just had little specks of these different musical genres that have influenced me.
Well, when you're using what was simulating, at least, or middying a concert ground, had this wonderful rolling bass. It's like sonorous. It was great.
Thank
not
you.
even doesn't even approximate it, but the sound was really cool. But so I'm listening to it, and the first person who came to mind was Randy Newman.
Yeah.
But then through Randy Newman, there was also some Stephen Foster.
Oh, thank you. I love that. I love to hear that. So much. Stephen Foster's got quite a catalog, is an understatement. But Randy Newman's a huge influence, and I, somebody who loves arranging and scoring along with songwriting. I always dream of being, probably a much lower IQ Randy Newman when I grow up, because he really does it all. He has these witty lyrics, wonderful musical statements, and he's written the soundtrack for our lives. A lot of us, Toy Story, and that we can go on and on about his catalog.
So you were talking about the three different ways that you play a show, as you were in here, where it's essentially you solo, then with the band, and then you also do orchestral dates. Do you write the arrangements when you do the orchestral dates?
Yeah. And it's so much fun. I'm trying to figure out how to do it more, because it's logistically, I wouldn't even say more complicated, but it's logistically different than what we're used to as touring artists. It's not a super typical thing. But I've got it down to a string quartet and a French horn. So I just need 5 people to play with me. And the way I've done it is just, I've got the music printed out, and I send it to the players and beforehand, so they can listen to the music and they have their part. And I think one way I'm trying to explore doing it live more is with students. I'm doing a show where high school students are playing with me in Michigan in a couple months, and I've been looking at the possibilities of playing with other high school players or college players, because it's a fun way to combine education and involve the community. If I came to Chattanooga and played with local Chattanooga players, that's a really cool collaboration, I think.
So, I don't know that much about it, but my understanding is that while Paul McCartney used strings so well, he didn't write those string arrangements. That was George Martin, right?
I think so. I don't know the particulars
Paul
of
might
that.
have been able to hum it, but he couldn't write it. And I'm wondering, how do you go about writing arrangements for strings like that? It's like you've written the song, you have an arrangement, whether it be solo or with the band. The strings, then you sort of have to pull it all apart and start all over again, right?
Yeah, I'll say this. I think it was much, much, much more difficult before computers and notation software. I feel very lucky living when I do that. I have a notation software where I can type in or write in my ideas, right, and then listen back. I don't have a situation where, and I do I play all the parts on the keyboard, but if you're doing, a larger arrangement, it's tough to know exactly what it sounds like till you get it in front of people. And it's still that way, but I think composers and arrangers now have a much better idea than we did 30 or 40 or, 100 years ago. But, essentially, I'll take a song and record it with just me playing piano or guitar, and then I'll start to build on top of that. And usually the first few times I'll just listen through the track and pick an instrument like a cello or something, and I'll just play musical ideas on top of it. And a lot of it doesn't stick. I'll hum things that I think are going to be cool and listen back and say, not quite. But it's sort of, I guess I would compare it sort of to Sudoku, except for there's more than one right answer. But I feel like I'm putting a puzzle together. And when you start to get it, it comes together. I start to have a couple themes that work. And then I can really start to think about the instruments and their ranges and what would sound good with each instrument. And it's a lot of fun and kind of uses a different muscle than other things that I do musically.
Yeah, I see that, and it's weird how I find myself having essentially the same conversation with three different people. So it began yesterday, talking to two musicians about the relative value of somebody who can read music as against somebody who can play by ear but can't read it. Then I had the same conversation. Well, it kind of came up in the conversation this morning, and the man I was talking to said, "No, the heart's most important.
Yeah,
you need to be able to think like a musician and think like a writer, composer, if you will." Okay. You need to be able to have some kind of intellectual understanding of what you're doing.
Yeah.
But you have to. The most important thing is to feel it.
Yeah.
So you have the gift of being able to think like that, and I'm assuming you read music.
Yeah.
But the most important thing, and the thing that I think you're downplaying, is that you are very attuned to the feeling. So it's always musical. And that is based on me listening to you play the guitar, play in a band, and play the piano. I haven't heard you with these string arrangements, but based on the way you play in those situations, I think the same thing would apply. So while it may be something of a shot in the dark for you, I have a feeling when they play it back, it sounds pretty good.
Well, it always depends, but I appreciate that very much.
What does it depend on?
Well, I think outside factors a lot of times. You're talking about dialing into the feeling. You can have all the music theory and it can technically be correct, but when you go to perform something, how easily am I able to dive into the muse, if you will, right? Feel the emotion of the song, visit that place, and really feel it and deliver it the way that it should be delivered. And that's a constant challenge, right? I played almost 250 gigs last year, and I'd be lying if I told you there weren't times where I wasn't thinking about the ball game while I was, just having trouble getting fully present into the spot. And so that's kind of I think a lot of it depends on that, but you're right, the feeling has to be there, and it sometimes takes work to bring that aspect in. Yep.
But I think that because you became so immersed in that New Orleans piano, that is a way to not only to hone and to internalize that way of thinking.
Yeah.
Of feeling, really.
Yeah.
Because it's all feel, right?
Oh my gosh,
and,
yeah.
I mean, you could map it out, but it's going to sound like this guy I heard one time playing Chopin, playing all the right notes, but I didn't feel a damn thing from it. It was
Yeah.
horrible, you know.
Yep.
And the same would be true. We both know there's been too many people who've assayed it rather badly, you know.
Yeah. Well, I remember the first time I visited New Orleans, and I think a big reason I became such a fan of Anders and his music was, and he's a New Orleans guy, his music has that spirit to it, you know. And the first time I was in New Orleans, one thing I noticed, I think I was 18 or 19, and I remember thinking to myself, man, these guys play every note like it might be their last, every one. And I'm sure is it that way everywhere, every night? No, there's still humans just like everywhere else, but there's certainly something in the air there, musically or whatever, that's really, really special and really cool.
Yeah, I think it's endemic to the culture.
Yeah.
And I think my impression is that people there have very little patience with somebody who's not putting themselves into it, and they know it almost immediately.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
It's like bring your A game or don't bother.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Because there are so many places there where you can hear music played just as you described it. Like, this is the last gig we're ever going to play.
Yeah.
You know, it feels like that. And yet where they're playing it, isn't that somebody's house? No. They play music in there. Well,
Yeah.
it looks just like somebody's house, you know. It's
Yeah.
just in the neighborhood. It's not a upscale, fancy place where they're making lots of money. You know?
Right. Right.
So and I think that's why, well, personally, that's why I love New Orleans. You know, it's the same as when you go to a restaurant and you're fairly safe unless you go into the heavy tourist quarter. It's going to be good
Yeah.
for the same reason.
Yep.
You know.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a joy. And Anders is not native to New Orleans, is he?
No, he came. I think he came to New Orleans from Sweden.
That's what I'm
as a
thinking.
teenager.
Yeah.
He's got. I don't know the exact story, but I think he left home on his own as a teenager and went traveling and ended up in New Orleans and stayed for a while.
Yeah, that's the impression I have too. He reminds me a little bit of Bonnie Raitt.
Yeah.
You know, just a teenager or barely out of his teens, and he got the bug.
Yeah.
You know, man, I got to find out where this. I had the same experience. I want to know where this came from. You know. This otherworldly emotion that you know is not in my culture. You know.
Yeah. Well, I got to see the two of them perform together a few years ago. They were on tour. I think he was opening solo for her band, and then came out and played a few, with Bonnie, and it was.
They're kindred spirits.
Yeah, it was really cool. This next song's called "Anxiety of Leaving." It's not out yet. It's a newer song. It's about every time I go anywhere, which was 47% of last year. I was somewhere and not at home. And no matter how short of time I'm gone for, like right now, I'm just gone from home for a couple days. No matter how short a time it is, I always get anxiety right before leaving. Did I pack enough socks? Did I bring guitar picks? I have to say goodbye to the dogs 50 times. I hate leaving my wife at home. Anyway, wrote this little tune, The Anxiety of Leaving. Here it comes again, that feeling that I just can't rest, and I don't want to anyway. Our last supper, then I pile up all the things I just barely put away. Airport in the morning always comes too soon. Taco Bell at 10 a.m., then another flight at noon. It's too soon. But I'll keep packing my bags like I'm never coming back, and I'll stand out at the crossroads and get back on the track. Babe, I gotta keep up the illusion of my American dream, but the anxiety of leaving always gets to me. The night before I shake and wonder what I am, who I'm doing this for. We both know that I could do so much less and give you so much more. Then you remind me this is what I love, and that's your charm. Make me feel like I'm not selfish. Take me in your arms, that's your charm. So I'll keep packing my bags like I'm never coming back, and I'll stand out at the crossroads, get back on the track. Babe, I gotta keep up the illusion of my American dream, but the anxiety of leaving always gets to me. What's this all worth to me? Chasing some fantasy that's only there when you're in every song. And I promise I'll never get too good at being gone. So I'll keep packing my bags like I'm never coming back, and I'll keep playing my part in the empire of the ants. Know that I'm not running, and I'll always wear my ring, but the anxiety of leaving always gets to me. All right, here's another one off of Night Skin called Follow the Rain Down. I never had my mother's eyes. She always knew how to hypnotize. Yes, my mom, what do I do? She said, follow the rain and you'll get through. Follow the rain down to the river and trees. Follow the rain down in your time of need. Follow the rain down wherever it leads. Follow the rain down, it'll bring you peace. I never had my father's stride. I always ran a few steps behind. That's my dad, 'cause I don't know why. He said, follow the rain, boy, you'll be alright. Follow the rain down to the river and trees. Follow the rain down in your time of need. Follow the rain down wherever it leads. Follow the rain down, it'll bring you peace. Follow the rain down to the river and trees. Follow the rain down in your time of need. Follow the rain down wherever it leads. Follow the rain down, it'll bring you peace. Few years running round, my feet never hit the ground. And every time I get too high, I know I'm right at home. You're my jewel, my only bet, my fortune and my debt. Now I'll throw it all on anything you do. So pick a song and put it on, dance till it's done. It's the little things that keep us going crazy. Being in love's like nothing else. You can't hide it on the shelf. You can't call anyone for help when you're in love. Being in love. When you wake in the morning, no lipstick, no warning. You're beautiful the way you are right then. Another year of 54, I'll always want a little more. But I'll settle for each day and what it brings. If you ever leave me alone, I'll miss you 'cause you're gone. But I'll live a long time stealing from our memories. Being in love's like nothing else. You can't hide it on the shelf. You can't call anyone for help when you're in love. Being in love. Like nothing else. You can't hide it on the shelf. Can't call anyone for help when you're in love. Being in love's like nothing else. You can't hide it on the shelf. Can't call anyone for help when you're in love. This is another song off of the new album Night Skin, produced by Anders Osborne. It's called In Love and a Hard Luck Sayer. I might be a broken record player, or I might be a hard luck sayer, or I might be just a lonely man. Give me a reason to toe the line. Give me shelter from the sheltered kind. Give me love that holds the tide. Yeah, life goes by on a one-way ride, so I'll settle down with you this time. Hold me close so I won't let go. Hold me heavy through the ebb and flow like a song. on the radio. If I ever lose my grip, take control of this sinking ship till I find my way back home. Yeah, life goes by on a one-way ride, so I'll settle down with you this time. My time comes to leave this land. Feel my heart and take my hand. One last time I'll understand. Yeah, life goes by on a one-way ride. Life goes by on a one-way ride. My wife and I went to Hawaii for our honeymoon a couple years ago, and I started this song by the pool on our first day there. It's not a love song, it's just a song about tourism. I just made observations about tourism for 10 days, and I had a song by the end of the honeymoon. That's what everyone does on their honeymoon, though, right? They write not a love song. This is Midnight in Waikiki. It's midnight in Waikiki, 5 a.m. in Tennessee. So many people walk the line between where they are and who they want to be. A girl writes these nothings in her notebook, reads like a eulogy. It's midnight in Waikiki on a red-eye flight from Tennessee. See an alternate reality where universes collide. Pimpin' paradise in country clubs with the simplest of lives. Town we're known as a tourist, but we all wanna go. No one's working overtime, let's all attend the show. It's midnight in Waikiki. It's midnight in Waikiki. Umbrellas cut through the drinks. In a tiki bar with a plastic chalice makes a man feel like a king. But no one's really on vacation. There's no escaping here. 'Cause the patron is a paycheck and the local is a souvenir. See an alternate reality where universes collide. Pimpin' paradise in country clubs with the simplest of lives. Town we're known as a tourist, but we all wanna go. No one's working overtime, let's all attend the show. It's midnight in Waikiki. It's midnight in Waikiki. It's midnight in Waikiki. 2 hours more to go. And a native dancing man whose traditions are nothing but a show. In the space between the wallets and the Mai Tais, it's still America, right? It's the dark side of the capitalist. Yeah, it's a Howley's Friday night. It's an alternate reality where universes collide. Living paradise in country clubs with the simplest of lives. Then we're known as a tourist, but we all wanna go. No one's working overtime. Let's all attend the show. It's midnight in Waikiki. It's midnight in Waikiki. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Andy Sydow, recorded in the Chattanooga Public Library